world is full of many surprises, inasmuch we have a human beings dwelling in this world. Different surprises from time to time. Races and tribes are formed and shaped by their histories. No one tribe could point to any spectacular feature about them without making reference to its history of its territorial dealing with neighboring tribes, from fighting for lands and resources, guiding their territories, traditions and customs against invaders and degraders, to power tussle between tribal authorities. Each tribe has come to discover their innate abilities and developed their special capabilities. The people Igbo tribe in Nigeria are seen as the most developed people in terms of craftiness in business and their abilities to survive under any circumstances, territory, nation, or time. They have evolved over the years as a people with doggedness to make a life out of nothing, though they seemed to be ravished by the civil war in Nigeria in 1967. But what looked like a disadvantage turned into an opportunity for them to develop their various peculiarities which make them who they are today. The Igbo have the best delicacy in terms of varieties of soup and other delicious meal. It was said they they improvised when there was no food during the war, discovering different leaves formerly known to be wheat as edible and converting them to meals. The Igbos are fast learners of skill and crafts. They have the highest startup because they have learned to develop their survival instinct out of their predicaments. They can turn a develop any they can turn a develop any town and turn into a city. Adversity turned into advantage. There were messages of a clerics program in Lagos admonishing Nigerians to see the positive side of being together as a nation. Our differences have come advantages which the Igbos most especially have utilized to become survivors anytime they find themselves. Go to anywhere in the nations of the world. If you don't see the in this, you will definitely the find you will definitely see an Igbo man there, and not just getting by but thriving. Okay. Yes, one thing I discovered in this life is that when you are comfortable, when you are in your comfort zone, it's always difficult for you to think ahead, to think fast, to think outside the box. But once you are deficient in one thing, because you are lacking in one thing, because you have found yourself in a very, very tight corner, then a lot of ideas will begin to come in, will begin to set in. You begin to think, far and wide. You begin to think here and there. But once you are comfortable, you think, oh, you have everything. Why would you want to stress yourself? Why would you want to stress your brain? No, it's not going to happen. So just like this writer has said, of course, we all know the history in this country. We know the history of everybody. Everybody has history. Everybody, every culture has their good, the bad, and the ugly. And that is why you see some people, even in the midst of nothing, they are still doing better. They are still doing great. They are still doing tremendously well. Because if you are so comfortable, you are so comfortable in your comfort zone, you don't think outside the box. You just leave your brain to just settle at that pace, at that particular state that you are. But once you are deprived of something, and that was why the Igbos then, during the civil war, a lot of things happened. That's the why they can survive anywhere. That is why they can produce, they can do a lot of things. That is why once they do business, of course, definitely it's something else. Of course, other tribes, they have their own peculiarities. They have their own the good side of them. One thing is that what you have, you project what you have. That is what I have come to see and I've come to know in this life. Even if you know something, if you are good in a particular thing and you don't really project yourself, definitely nobody will know you. If you don't praise yourself, nobody will see you. Nobody will appreciate you the more. But coming back to the issue of Nigeria's amalgamation is divine. Igbos are made for the turbulent years, according to the cleric. Well, we have seen it all in this country. We have seen it all. We have seen it all. If you believe in what you believe, why not go for what you believe? But if what you are experiencing is not what you bargain for, definitely you cannot get it. Definitely you cannot be boxed. You can't be boxed. You cannot just be put in a box. You just have to go out. But some people just want, whether good or bad, we must stay together. No, it doesn't work that way. What I believe in is not what you believe in, and you cannot force me to believe what you believe. And to get freedom, of course, it's not going to be a tea party. It's not going to be an easy thing. Some people just want a situation whereby some people will be low, beneath, so that they will just be there and they will be high up there. They derive pleasure in bringing other people down, others down. So this issue of amalgamation that even the Igbos have been complaining about, like I always say, there's nobody that is not tired of what we are experiencing now. And to sum it all, even in our own localities, we have people that are always try to oppress others. It's I don't just know whether it is in human nature for people to feel that they are superior than others. Even in the family, it happens. You see that, oh, maybe luckily out of how many children, if one is thriving, if one is getting it, he will want to put the other people below. Oh, everything because the person is influential in the family. Any decision, anything they want to do, that's the one that is more influential, the one that has what it takes to spend on others, will begin to usurp powers. So that is just the way it is, in my opinion. And like I said, everybody is peculiar in its own way. Everyone is peculiar in its own culture. That is how it is. But let's hear what people are saying concerning this write-up. That the Igbos turn their adversity into advantage does not make adversity a dwelling place. There is time for everything. By God's grace, it is time for freedom, and this is non-negotiable. Prior to independence, Lord Lugard saw the Igbos as industrious and creative and competitive. So it was not the Civil War that defined the Igbo man. Rather, it became the ground to manifest our creative potential. Industry and enterprise is hardwired in our DNA. Okay. Prior assessment of the Igbo by Ahmadu Bello is that after God is the Igbo man, who we are is an innate trait. Okay, just as the wartime hardship and post-war marginalization toughened an Igbo character and made them self-reliant, enterprising race, the injustice of federal character, quota system, and appropriation of the lion's share of Niger Delta free oil money gave birth to a generation of half-baked, incompetent, lazy, pampered, insensitive, self-centered elites who are a drain on the resources of the North. They constitute only 3% of the population but consume 80% of resources amidst their poverty and ignorance of the masses. This generation brought up to parasite on society. It's absolutely insensitive to the suffering of those around them whose share of resources they consume. So if you want to go by this assertion, does it mean that the people are not well informed enough? Does it mean that people don't even know much even as we speak? Because everybody tends to say, oh, because of the ignorance of the people. Because if the people already know that, okay, some people are trying to play on our intelligence, some people want to play smart, then is it not time for us to have known that, okay, yes, we have known what we know, then why are we still bent on still being on the ground, being below? Why? That is a very, very big question, because people always say, oh, because of the ignorance of the masses, that is what is putting the masses in this kind of mess, because it seems they don't even know their rights. It seems they don't know what it means to have a right. And those who know the right, they still say, oh, they want to go their separate way. But some people, those who do not have this thing, they want to still stay back. They want to still stay back. They still want to drag the other people to themselves. It's unfortunate, really unfortunate. The almost stinging part of it is calling Biafra the giants of Africa, while still in Nigeria, saying without the Igbos, Nigeria will be a basket that holds no atom water of unity or never move forward progressively. But why all this all this coming up. It's a mistake. We can't stay again. We need Biafra. It was not God that joined Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba, but the Lord Lugar Frederick and his wife before the colonial era. We were just neighboring ethnic nationality. So colonial masters forcefully bind us together for their selfish interests. Honestly, it would have been better. I wish that time before we were joined together, we would have seen how, each tribe would have been flourishing. I don't just understand. I don't just understand. Just like I don't know, the cleric is saying that Nigeria's amalgamation is divine. Igbos are made from the turbulent years. Really? Whether it has a different interpretation, whether you have a different interpretation to this, let us know in the comment section. Thank you.